Well, that came out of absolutely nowhere. Breaking Knicks news that just came out a few hours ago. Malcolm Brogdon, he's not being released from the Knicks. He's not making the roster. He's retiring from the NBA. So this is definitely something that's going to impact the New York Knicks roster decisions, as the deadline is this Saturday. We made a video on the channel yesterday about what decisions Leon Rose and company is going to have to make on this roster. And Malcolm Brogdon decides to, hang it up and call it a NBA career after 9 seasons in the NBA. And before you think to yourself, oh, well, probably the Knicks told him he wasn't going to make the team, that's why he's retiring. I don't think that's the case. That was initially my thought process, but no, that's not it at all. Malcolm Brogdon has been contemplating retiring for the last few weeks, and even entering the season, he was contemplating it, and he basically realized, during training camp, according to Stefan Bondi, that, hey, the hunger is lost. And if you don't have a desire to go out there and be an athlete in the NBA, it takes a lot of physical and mental strength in order to get through these long seasons. And if you don't have that fire, you don't have that hunger, then it's time to hang it up. So how is this going to impact the New York Knicks? What's the bench unit going to look like? Who is going to make the roster now that Malcolm Brogdon is officially not going to be on the Knicks this season? So let's break it all down right here on the channel. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you're not already on your way in, and subscribe here to Knicks Media. I'm really excited to give you guys all the latest content you need heading into the 2025 and 26 season, because this season is about to be absolutely wild for these New York Knicks. Let's get straight into business. Now, Pacome Daddier, I think, is safe now that Malcolm Brogdon is retiring, and he's probably going to make the team. There was a lot of rumors that the Knicks could make a trade, which, by the way, is not off the table. I think that there still could be a trade here coming on in these next few days leading up to that deadline on Saturday. But it definitely feels like the Knicks are trending towards, keeping some guys on this roster now that Malcolm Brogdon is officially calling it a career, which is obviously unfortunate. Now, a guy that I do think has a chance to make this team that has definitely been impressive is Garrison Matthews, the three-point sharpshooter. I think that he's been a guy that I've been really impressed with in the preseason, as well as Landry Shamet, I think, is safe. So I think that you look at this Knicks roster with the Malcolm Brogdon retiring, the only thing I have an issue with now is who's going to be that backup behind Jalen Brunson in terms of a veteran that can calm things down. Say Jalen has to miss a few games, or say you just want him to have some rest. That's why I like the idea of Malcolm Brogdon. And yeah, in the preseason, he was not looking great, but I felt like a guy that's a veteran, that was a rookie of the year, sixth man of the year, been in the league for a while. I felt pretty comfortable with Malcolm Brogdon. Now, without him, I still love Deuce McBride. Don't get me wrong here, even though his name has been brought up in trade conversations leading up into the season, which would be ridiculous. The Knicks should not trade Deuce, and the reason why he would even be considered in a trade is because he brings the most value. If the Knicks want to get some value in return for him, don't do that, especially with Malcolm Brogdon retiring. You need depth off the bench in the backcourt, and it's going to be Deuce McBride now that's going to be that primary backup point guard behind Jalen Brunson. I have confidence in Deuce. He hasn't been looking fantastic in the preseason, but I definitely feel like he's only going to get better as the season progresses off the bench. You got him and Jordan Clarkson as the main guys off the bench in the backcourt. You brought in Yabusele. You got Josh Hart off the bench. So I do still have confidence in this depth off the bench for the New York Knicks. I think Tyler Kolek is another guy that the Knicks are going to rely on if there are some injuries. I do think that Mike Brown likes Tyler Kolek, what he brings to the table in terms of pace, pushing the ball down the floor, getting his teammates involved, driving to the paint, dishing it out to shooters. I think that he's a perfect fit for what Mike Brown is trying to implement here. So I think that's another guy that is going to maybe get some more looks this season with Malcolm Brogdon officially retiring. And I think that the Knicks, this may have came as a surprise for them, or maybe they honestly knew this was possible, because I'm sure when they signed Malcolm Brogdon, I'm assuming they were transparent with each other, where Malcolm told the Knicks, hey, I would love to come on your roster for training camp in the preseason, but I am contemplating retiring. I'll see if I want to play this season when, roster decisions are coming up. And he made his decision today and told the Knicks that I'm out of here. I don't want to play basketball anymore. So now you wonder, are the Knicks satisfied with the bench? Do they like the inexperience of, the young guys? Jordan Clarkson and Yabusele, they bring experience, of course. Josh Hart off the bench. But in terms of that floor general that's going to stable the ship like a Malcolm Brogdon was expected to, that's something that I am definitely going to look after for the Knicks to be, maybe aggressive in the trade market to get another veteran, or maybe there's somebody out there that they can bring in that's still available. You never know what Leon Rose is cooking. He always has something up his sleeve. We all know that about Mr. Leon Rose. Now, there is something else that I wanted to talk about that is not related, but it is, news that came out today from the New York Knicks. Ian Begley of SNY said that Knicks center Mitchell Robinson did not practice today as part of the team's plan to manage his workload. Heading into the regular season, teams plan to manage Robinson's minutes over the course of the year, given his injury history, sources told SNY. So this is very interesting, and I think that this is a really interesting approach of how Mike Brown and the coaching staff are going to be utilizing Mitchell Robinson throughout the season, because let's be honest, folks, we need Mitch healthy when it matters the most, which is the playoffs. And we got a long way to go before the playoffs start. I mean, the season didn't even begin, for goodness sake. But you look at a guy like Ariel Hook-Porty, I like this. I think that Mitch, taking some days off in practice, taking some games off to manage his workload, I'm totally okay with that, because a guy like Ariel Hook-Porty, I think, can absolutely fill in for Mitchell Robinson when he's not playing. He's not as great as Mitch, but he can develop right behind Mitchell Robinson. I like the depth that the Knicks have at that position, and I think Ariel Hook-Porty is a perfect piece. And the reason why the Knicks drafted him, I always felt like he was the guy that's going to develop right behind Mitchell Robinson and try to be another version of Mitch in his own way. I have a lot of confidence in Ariel Hook-Porty if his name is called. And I also got to give the Knicks credit here. Now, this is a different type of philosophy. We're used to Tom Thibodeau, where everybody's playing all these minutes and there's no workload, and you're going to be playing 40-plus minutes a night no matter what. But you can obviously tell that the front office with Leon Rose, Worldwide West, and the boys, they have an impact on this. And I think a big reason why Tom Thibodeau got let go, it was because Tibbs was not really listening upstairs to what the front office had to say. A lot of times, Leon Rose was probably telling Tibbs, hey, we need to start, managing these minutes properly. We want to make sure that these guys are not getting run into the ground, but that was not Tibbs' philosophy. There was a little bit of a butting head, according to the sources that I read articles from all the reporters that came out with after Thibodeau got fired. So this tells you right here that this is what Leon Rose wanted. This is why Mike Brown is here. I think the load management is actually smart for Mitchell Robinson's long-term health, because yes, we want to get a top seed in the Eastern Conference in the regular season, but more importantly, we need Mitchell Robinson healthy all season. We don't want Mitch to go down and then all of a sudden he's injured and then he has to rehab all over again. We want him healthy all year, and whatever that means, the Knicks training staff got to prioritize health over anything else. So you guys let me know your thoughts, man, because Malcolm Brogdon retiring definitely came out of nowhere. What's your overall confidence in this Knicks team, even without Malcolm Brogdon? And let me know your overall thoughts, man. Knicks season is right around the corner, literally a week from today. I'm really excited to be at Madison Square Garden for the opening game against the Cavaliers. So, woo, I'm excited. Big shout out to Sleeper, of course, for sponsoring Knicks Media. I'm really excited to make some sleeper picks for the NBA season. If you guys want to use my code Knicks, you get $20 for free when you sign up today. Terms and conditions apply, of course, and you also get a 100% deposit match up to $100 when you make some deposits. Bet responsibly, of course, but you guys can win up to 100 extra money on Sleeper, and they got awesome stuff going on there for the NFL, MLB playoffs, NHL, and of course basketball when that all kicks off next week. So make sure you guys hit the like button, comment down below your thoughts about this report, and I'll see you guys in the next video, and let's go Knicks. Much love, everybody. I'm out.